All right, hello everybody, and welcome to another installment of the Rogue Soul YouTube channel. I'm back again today. It is hot, so you'll have to forgive me. It is extremely hot where I'm located in the world right now. So the fan is going, the windows is closed, the air conditioner is running. We're circulating air as best that we can over here. And it's been a doozy of a few days. Past few days. So today, you're getting a bonnet. Um, you're getting a bonnet. As of right now, with where I'm taking this channel, I want to be fully transparent with myself and just displaying myself, the real me, completely, like all the time. And all the time, I'm not put together. All the time, I'm not gonna have on, a good old snazzy shirt and shit. My hair is not always going to be done all the time. And sometimes I'm in a fucking bonnet because that's just, I'm just living life. I'm just being me. Sometimes the hair needs to be up. But anyway, today I wanted to come with another heart to heart, another struggle of mine that I've been having to deal with. Um, and that struggle is me being very promiscuous. I've been a very promiscuous person my a good long portion of my life. I've I grew up in an environment where, with me being a gay man, I've I grew up in an environment where I felt that I had to suppress my sexuality and what I truly like. And I felt two things. I felt one, I really wanted to find and be with someone that was just like me, in the sense that would understand what it's like being a gay man and, not really having relationships that sort of reflect you back to you. So that was the first thing. The second thing that I felt was I wanted to be able to play the field, you know, from, watching how, from observing like how, straight men around me shake and move and what they talk about and discuss and how like they sort of operate. I wanted to I wanted to not necessarily like be like that, but I wanted an opportunity to well, I guess in a way that is being like that. I wanted an opportunity to experience that for myself. But I felt that I had to do it more so in the shadows. So, once I was fully like grown and like going places, I started like meeting different people, and I'm not going to lie and not say that I didn't have my hoish tendencies. I definitely did, because I was definitely a fuckboy in my time for a period of time. But a lot of times I was searching for relationships. I was very naive as far as how things really worked in the world, how relationships truly worked, and I had my own idea as far as how to find them and go about them. And a lot of times the stuff that I was like ingesting, as far as like seeing different portrayals of gay people, seeing gay people like online, with and like different type of like personalities like that, um, seeing them in movies, TV shows, and stuff like that. I really just didn't know how to be, but I felt like this was the way to go about it. So, I utilized the dating sites. You know, I utilized them, and I would meet different people, which I was okay with. And some people I felt was like a little weird, so it didn't really go anywhere. Some people I hit it off with, but then it started becoming a pattern that when I would hit off with someone, it would either be either um, that night or like the next night of like talking, I would be sleeping with them. And so then I was like, okay, well, maybe I should give it a bit of time so that I'm not just completely hoeing around, because the relationships, they wouldn't work out, and it usually would be me pulling out of it because, no pun intended, because you get to know someone more and more, and you realize, okay, maybe this isn't going to work best. We're not going to mesh truly at all, but maybe I shouldn't have let it get even this far. And then I'm just going to bow out. And then I'll be on to the next one, trying to, meet someone, see where it goes and whatnot. So I had no concept of really how dating was really supposed to work. And from the way that I understood it, it was sort of like the same on the other side as far as like heterosexuality. You can meet a girl at a bar and take her home and, you know, have sex with her sometimes. And I thought, okay, it seems like the same rules would apply over here. And again, just being naive, I just assumed that's just how dating works. That's just how people, my age or a little bit older than me, that's how they went about it. That's what was discussed. That's what I saw happening on TV. That's what I saw happening like via the internet. That's what's being talked about in these circles. That's what's being observed, absorbed, and picked up. Research and development. And so I went on, and I would keep talking to these people, some on and off. Not gonna lie, I had sex with not a lot of people, but a lot of a lot of people. I had sex with a lot of people, and it wasn't always just like one and dones. It was like legit. I would talk to you, try to get to know you, and try to build some type of like relationship with you. And then if it led to sex the first or the second or third night, I was okay with that. It wasn't any skin off my back. And then, of course, I had a few like mixed in there where it's just like, I'm just about to have a fling. I'm just about to one and done it. I'm not really looking for anything right now. I came to make it do what it do, and I'm getting my ass back home. No, I'm not staying the night. No, I can't call you the next day. No, 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 no. And over the course of time, I wasn't really like paying attention to like how things escalated. So again, I'm not saying it was like a lot of people, but you know, I've had a few in my time, and only when I got with my new family, and I started to open up a little bit more about my circumstances and about the different people that I've dated and the different people that I've like met and had flings with and this, that, and the third. It was told to me, it's like, Javante, I can't keep track, because it's been a lot of dudes. It's been a few dudes. I'm like, that makes sense. I can't argue with that. Like I said, I've had a few. I've had a few. I've said no to a lot, but I have had a few. And I wasn't realizing how unhealthy it was for me to be putting myself out there like that and not always using protection, not always, making myself safe or anything like that. Just sort of, you know, just going out there and having a good time and coming back, and then we're cool. Now, with that being said, I've had not a lot of scares. I had a few scares. Well, actually, not even a few. I've had two scares. Two scares. And I thank God that I came back clean both times. And, you know, after that, I finally agreed that it was time for me to sit down and quit doing things like how I used to do. I mean, just meeting people, and just because you think they're cool or whatever, or they come on to you or whatnot, I would just be like, oh, okay. I mean, we'll see what you're talking about, and we'll see if it's mutual. And then if it is, then maybe we could do something. If it's not, we're not doing any goddamn thing. And I had to learn that how I was going about things and how I was going into things was, no pun intended, was not, it was not respectable to me or my body to not be safe, to not share yourself with everybody, especially with people you don't know fully. You know? Now, even though, yes, I was finding myself, yes, I had already had like an idea of how things were supposed to be, and I was just enacting on it, but yes, it was a choice of my own to do these things. And yes, I've had two scares because of it. And again, thank God I didn't end up in an extremely fucked up predicament. And that's just when I realized I had to sit the fuck down and just not be in that life like that no more. And if I was to do anything, henceforth, it would be with protection. at all times. You know, I was never really, thinking about it like that. It's just, sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. It's just whatever. And I would think, of course, check, use your eyes, see if there's like anything like crazy or wrong with everything. But with how things are, it's not always, sometimes different things that you can catch ain't always something that you can see, you know? And I'm not taking that chance. I'm not taking that chance. I've took way too many chances in the past, and I'm not doing that anymore. So I set myself down for a few years. I sat down. It's been what, like three, like two, about like 2.5 years now. Just being more so like celibate, and you know, I laid back. I got a little bit heftier, you know, but I'm in a better space as far as respecting my body more than to keep putting it out there with just any and everybody like that. Of course, you meet people, you say hey and whatnot, or you have conversations, and you don't know somebody even after a week. You don't know somebody after, hell, even after 2 weeks. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by that. You know, Not everything is you meet them that night, and then you do it, and then you never see them again. It doesn't always happen like that. It didn't always happen like that for me. You know, my scares, you know, one of them came from a person that I was seeing off and on, you know. So I've had the scare from, both sides of it, from like a one and done, and I've had the scare from someone who, I felt I knew, but at the end of the day, we got everything checked out. I'm cool, I'm clean, I'm thank God for that. And I'm in a better space as far as not doing those sorts of things anymore. With that being said, I do know I am a sexual being, and I am a person that, does enjoy sex. So I'm not taking it off the table forever, even though, like, after those scares, I was like, no, never again. We're shutting up shop forever. But no, that's not the point. The point is taking care of yourself. The point is, I had to tell myself that, Javante, the point is taking care of yourself. The point is not going out there and trying to be King Dick and giving it to everybody that you saying, okay, you got attractiveness to you. You may get some of it. It's not about that. You don't know that person. You don't know anything aside from you finding them attractive and them finding you attractive. You know, you don't know anything about them. And I've learned to I've learned to be okay with not doing that. I know it was extremely hard for me at the beginning. I was just like I had urges out the wazoo. And at several times, I was just like, fuck this. I can't keep doing this to myself. I'm depriving myself. But then slowly and slowly, like over time, I found that I didn't need it like that. You know, I can get it in a more respectable way. It's not a daily requirement. You know, it's not anything of the such. It's not anything of the sort. But I'm grateful for that time in my life because it, and I'm grateful I had my family with me at the times of the scares to help me see reason and help point me in the right directions as far as taking better care of yourself, as far as understanding you you can't keep doing this to yourself. You're taking chances and you never know what the end result could be. You could go in one time and come out with something and it's just and then be devastated, you know? And that's nothing against anybody that's, that has anything or has caught anything or anything like that. Shit happens. Shit happens. Hell, you can be married to someone, and then shit happens and some they could have cheated and it came back and gave you something. It's nothing to do with like that specific person. You're not a hoe if you're not automatically just a hoe if you caught something. It's different scenarios and different circumstances. I'm just saying for my scenario and my circumstance, I had to stop what the fuck I was doing because I was getting too familiar with people before I was actually familiar with them. And I couldn't keep doing that. I couldn't keep taking those chances. I had to realize I can't keep taking those chances because I knew for me it would be devastating if I caught something. So even thinking about it, if I caught something I can't get rid of, I would be devastated. But that's me, you know? That's me. Especially when I know, the first reasons I got out into the dating pool, it wasn't just to just be out there and hoeing myself around. That came about later once, okay, I'm doing activities. I enjoy these activities. I think I'm going to make a habit out of doing these activities because I enjoy them so much. you know. But the object of, getting out there was to find somebody, was to try to build a relationship with somebody because I didn't really have anybody. No, I didn't have anybody else that was gay around me, friend or otherwise, to sort of like guide me on how relationships work with being, homosexual in any capacity, as far as being friends, being in romantic relationships, or any of the such. So that was a good learning experience for me. That I don't have to put it on, just put it on somebody to, make them want to stay. Putting it on somebody is a bonus. They gotta want to stay before you even do that, for me. And also making for sure that everybody in the situation is in the situation for the right reasons. You know, if you planning on starting a relationship or whatnot, you're in a relationship for the right reasons, and you're doing it with the right person, and not just, you know, any old body that's like got craziness about them that you know you don't put up with, but you're putting up with just for the sake of starting a relationship with somebody, you know. So it's a lot that goes into it. It's very broad, but I'm just discussing, you know, my struggle with it. You know, I've always felt that okay, this is, you know, was seeing just how other gays operated like online, you know, I also had to learn with that that's not how every gay person operates. That's just what I happened to be consuming at the time via social media, via TV, via movies, via just, you know, all of that. You know, that was the frame of reference I had. And just learning that, you know, maybe I should attune to to absorbing like different things, you know, and not so much the things that I've stumbled upon, came across, and you know, sort of just dove down a rabbit hole with all of that and did my research and development on that. So, you know, I say all this, you know, to encourage myself, you know, still moving forward and whatnot, because I know a relationship is a big thing for me. You know, I still look for that, you know, and it was a big learning experience for that. And just even aside from like the scares, like I found myself in situations and relationships with people that weren't the fucking best for me. You know, I found myself in a relationship with a person to where it was so bad, it was like I couldn't even have sex with that person. My equipment, it got to the point where even my equipment was like, no, equipment is not function. We will not function for this, not for that. It was just like, oh well, damn. You know, I know I'm like, and at the time I'm like, what, like 20 years old. So, you know, at the time I worked at a nursing home. So, you know, I was real cool and like friends. I had a friend that was a nurse. And I had talked to her about it. I was like, you know, is it possible for someone my age to get like erectile dysfunction? And she was like, I mean, it's not common. I mean, it's not, it's possible, but it's not. And then she was like, well, tell me the situation that's going on. And so I'm like, okay, I'm telling you the situation. I'm telling her the situation. And she's like, it sounds like you're dealing with someone that you don't want to deal with. And he's making you feel like he's not making you feel good in the sense of where you want to do anything with him, honestly. And I was like, you're probably right. I don't recommend the solution that I did after this. So, after that, but here was my solution. After that, I went and I stopped going over his house. I stopped um, when they would text or call. Well, when they called, I wouldn't answer. When they text, I I was real short with them. What do you want? Or what's up? I'm busy. I'm at work. What's going on? And over the course of time, I stopped talking to him in general. Now, during that time, I was just relaxing. I took time for like me. I wasn't really like seeing anybody or anything like that, anybody else, because, you know, I didn't want to just, up and cheat, because that just wasn't my thing. But I waited until like the relationship like fizzled out, which it was like it took a week to do, like a week and a half to do, with not responding, not you know answering, not anything like that. We wasn't exclusive. Well, he wasn't my boyfriend or nothing, but we was like dating, you know. And then after it ran out, that's when I immediately went looking, found somebody, mutual attractiveness, mutually attractive to each other. And I went and I had sex with that person, and the equipment worked just fine. Everybody was good. So that's when I knew my equipment works just fine. What the nurse said was true. It was just that. For me to immediately get with somebody else, and it was just like it was like it never it was like it never stopped. So, again, I don't recommend that solution for every goddamn body. Um, that was just the place I was at that point in time. If one was fucking up and I didn't want to be with that one no more, I stopped being with that one right then and there, and then I went and found somebody else, either like that same night or the next day or two. You know, if we were like exclusive or whatever, I would let it fizzle out before I went and I found somebody else. Just out of respect for that that exclusivity. You know, exclusivity. I don't know what the hell I just said. That wasn't a word. That second one probably wasn't a word either. Just out of respect for us being exclusive, I would let it fizzle out first, and then that. Because, by then when I was dating this person, I was definitely on my fuckboy shit. Like, if you not doing it right, if you not doing it at all, I was definitely going to go find somebody that was. So, yeah, that's how that worked. But that's just one example. So, I say all that to say this, just to nip it all into bud. Be careful who you're sleeping with. I believe genuinely it's okay to be promiscuous. It's okay to, want to have sexual relations with people. But I also had to learn, if you're going to do that, you got to protect yourself. But also, you also have to think about, like, are you respecting yourself? Are you respecting your body? So, I have to keep, you have to keep that in mind. I have to. We all have to keep that in mind. Or not. It's your choice. It's everyone's choice. But I like to keep that in mind. You know, I don't want to go through the same scares. I don't want, God forbid, to the scare becoming like a full-fledged reality. No. Again, I'm thankful being clean. I'm thankful for the bad relationships that I got in, because they taught me how not to be. They taught me, again, how not to be, like, for myself, as far as like how I was in a relationship, and also, the other person as well, because, relationship, it takes two to make it work, and also takes two to break it down. you know so just going over where you went wrong first, as far as like what you did, how you contributed to the situation, you know if truly like any, and then going over how the other person contributed to it as well. and how the breakdown happened, where it started, how it occurred, and how, how to move forward with it. I'm grateful for all of that. And I'm grateful I have my family to help me through, a lot of that. I'm thankful for the friends that I had along the way that, show their support like where they could, as far as like, being an ear for me to like talk to in regards to like certain things. You know, again, I don't always share every single thing. So no, the nurse that I had as a friend, they didn't know I was gay at the time. I didn't come out and tell them that. A lot of my friends didn't, you know. Well, at least I didn't up front and tell them, If they picked it up along the way and just didn't say nothing, that's them. I don't know if they did or didn't. Don't know. But, yeah. But I'm going to go ahead and enjoy the rest of my evening. I want you all to have a wonderful evening as well. I hope this inspires you to, if you are like making those types of choices, to make, better choices. I'm trying to inspire myself to continue to make better choices by, doing this and saying this out loud. And you can find happiness, you can find your person, you can find your many people if that's what you're into, if that's how you want to do it. But you don't have to disrespect yourself and your body. You don't have to put yourself through that turmoil or anything of the sort, just for that. Really take time if you want to go out there, especially as a homosexual man, a gay man. There are diseases out there. They're real. They're prevalent, especially within our community. You know, I have to think every time I have to protect myself regardless. Make for sure, if you're active out there, if I'm saying you, but I really mean me too. If I'm active out there, getting tested regularly, and, making sure everything's still good down there. When you are utilizing your equipment with other people, making for sure you have your protective coverings on that said equipment, you know. And it's not just you that have to worry about diseases. I had to tell myself that, Javante, it's not just the homosexual man that has to worry about diseases. Women have to worry about that too in their heterosexual relationships. The straight man has to worry about that too in their heterosexual, relationships. It's all, and they're all their sexual encounters. Anybody of any sexual orientation that has sexual encounters with people has to worry. It's always a chance. It has to worry about the chances of them catching something, because they're out there, they're prevalent, and at the rate that people is fucking and sucking, you never fucking know. you know. But again, I wish you all a great, wonderful evening. I'm bringing it to a close. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for joining me today for another conversation, another heart to heart. Goodbye, everybody. Enjoy your evening.